The more and more I fuck up my sleep schedule and the more I continue to wake up at 1 in the morning, the more and more I think about my late night adventures, I guess. I've just completely, throughout the summers, my sleep schedule gets fucked up. And then I hit up my friends who also have fucked up sleep schedules. And we go out into the night and do whatever we like to do. Now, I thought about this one thing recently, and like the more and more I've just thought about my fucked up sleep schedule and how this is going up at probably 2:30 in the morning, for fuck's sake, um, we met a really cool cop, okay, and it was like 3 summers ago. It was a long time ago, and we were pretty young, and we weren't really doing anything bad when this happened. But I'm gonna tell you about it. So, I've talked about it before. I live like in a really like my neighborhood's great, but there's a few people like specific that live here that are really really like high profile, and I guess they're criminals. I don't really know, but I don't look into it because I don't want to know if like God forbid if I'm neighbors with a murderer or some shit. So I do know that there's like a pedophile that lives like 2 blocks away, so that's cool. But yeah, I know that the police come to our neighborhood a lot, and they at like 3 in the morning they'll circle it like twice, then just leave. And me and my friend one time, we got like really hungry. It was like fucking 3 in the morning, and we decided to start walking up to Burger King. I live kind of close to one, and we went outside, and we actually met up with another friend of ours. He lives on the same neighborhood as me, and we called him up. We told him to meet up with us. So we met up with him. So it's us, 3 of us, and we start going up to Burger King. Now we start walking down my neighborhood's road, and this cop comes, and like we saw the lights from so far away, you could just tell it was a cop. It had the thing on the front, like it was like, all right, whatever. So he comes up to us, pulls us over, says what's going on, and there was nothing he could really do to us. I mean, we weren't doing anything wrong. We were literally just walking to Burger King. There's no curfew, and as long as we pretty much had parents' permission, we could have went to wherever we wanted to go. And at first, he really seemed like a prick. Like, he was like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you up this late? And I thought that he was going to be a really big asshole. And he was just like, all right, well, do you guys have parents' permission? Because I told him, I was like, yeah, we're just going up to Burger King. We're hungry. And he was like, okay, do you guys have parents' permission? And we were like, yeah, we're all good. We have parents' permission. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I swear. Like, my mom's up late all the time. You can literally go knock on the door. And he's like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. I trust you guys. Even if you didn't have parents' permission, you could probably just go. I would have just followed you guys up there. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you, man. And he's just like, all right, guys, have a nice night. And he just drove away, okay? And that wasn't even the good part. We continued to fucking walk up there, and it was the sketchiest goddamn walk I've ever had in my life. We passed by, like, a bunch of kids at one point in a group that were all, like, hood up, fucking weird looking. We passed by this weird guy who was talking to himself, and it was just the sketchiest thing ever. So, we made it up to Burger King, and of course, it was fucking closed, okay? It was closed, and we were like, shit. And it was just really annoying because, like, when, you go somewhere and you get there and it's closed, it's like, fuck. And I didn't look up hours. I really never do. Whenever we go up to places, I probably should start. But we were like, shit. So, went across the street to some other places. They were all closed. And when we walked past across the street, we saw a cop car in the plaza. And we didn't think it was the same one because we have a lot of cops in our area. So, we were like, fuck it. And we started to walk back over there to look for other places to go because it's a whole plaza of restaurants. And we're just like, shit. So, we get over there and we're like, shit, nothing's open. And the other cop is over there and he starts coming over to us and we're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, we don't know if this cop's nice or good, We don't really know. Like, we were just nervous. So, this cop comes over to us and we don't know if it's going to be the same one, if it's going to be a different one, if it's a prick, or just going to give us a hard time. And he pulls over and rolls down his passenger seat window. And sure enough, it's the same fucking dude. And we were just like, oh, shit, like, it's the one that we just met. And my friend's like, hey, man, hey again. And he's just like, what's going on, guys? And I was like, oh, everything's closed, we're going to have to start walking home. He's like, do you guys want food? Because I think I know how to get you some. And I was like, oh, like, sure. And he's just like, all right, wait here. So he drives away, and we see him go over across the street to this donut place that's open 24 hours a day through the drive-thru, but you can't go in unless you're in a car. Like, you can't go through the drive-thru on foot, so... but yeah, the restaurant part was closed, but the drive-thru was open. So we see him pull through a drive-thru and order like a dozen donuts and like some coffee. And he brings it back around, hands us the dozen donuts, and we were just like, what the fuck? And my friend just like, oh my god, thank you so much, let me pay you. And the cop's like, no, please. And he rolled up his window and he's like, "You guys have a nice day now," and he just drove away. And we were like, "Holy shit, dude, like that cop was a fucking god." And the rest of that night we continued to just talk about how fucking sick that cop was. And the coolest part is my friend actually remembered the license plate. And what he did was he told my friend's father about it, and his dad looked it up because he works at a sheriff's office, and he ended up being one of his friends or some shit. So the cop was really cool, and I never actually saw him again. I think he still drives by my neighborhood once in a while, but I haven't seen him since really. But I just wanted to tell you guys a story about the coolest cop encounter I've ever had in my life. And yeah, let me know if you've ever met any really cool police officers or anyone cool of the law in the comments below. I look forward to reading your comments. Sorry about the upload at 2 in the morning. I don't know why the fuck I decided to do this, but yeah. So, I love you guys all so much. I'll see you all later. Peace.